Welcome once again to Hunters Entertainment on Twitch.tv. My name is Knoxweiler Berth, and I am your game master and guide through a dark and challenging world of survival horror. Tonight, as we do every Tuesday evening, we're playing Outbreak Undead. This game, if you're not familiar with it, is not for the faint of heart. And I, as the game master, have confirmed consent with each and every one of my players. Our lines and veils have been very firmly drawn, and we have safety protocols in place to help assist and protect everyone at the table tonight. Of course, we ask you for your consent as well. If you're going to take this journey with us, we encourage you to read the content warnings closely. This game offers us all opportunities to explore dark themes and to shine a light on the human condition in the safe confines of our imagination, but that takes bravery and it takes the support of everyone tonight, including you. Not every character that is here that will be portrayed by these amazing, talented individuals is going to be played with the same objectives and motivations as the others. Some of them are working directly against one another. Some of them are in communication with dangerous and dark outside forces. Some of them may die tonight. In this game, in Outbreak Undead, there are no magical swords to save the day. There are no valiant knights. There are no castle walls to hide behind. The dangers that we are about to uncover are far worse than any fantasy. They wear the face of a world that is quite like our own. Twisted, discarded. It is the echo and dying gasp of a civilization that is all too familiar to each of us. What would the world be like if everything went wrong? What would you do to survive? Still, in even that darkness, hope burns the brightest. I would like to thank both JB Jara and Alex Hillman for all of their support. Without them, quite simply, we would not have a show to show you tonight. The entire Hunters team is also responsible for helping us to make this campaign happen, and we ask you to thank them as well. Please sign up in the Scribe program in the panels below and engage with the communities of our apocalypse directly. You will take on the role of a survivor yourself, and you can help to divert much-needed resources and goods to where you think that they're going to be needed the most. Your choices tonight will make the difference between life and death. They're linked to all the varied settlements in the Rag and Bone universe, and everything matters here. Our tireless Undead moderators are currently in the chat, and they're going to help you by preparing you for what is about to come. They can answer any of your questions, and they will support your efforts. We ask that you also give them your thanks. We appreciate all of them greatly. Tonight, I would like to take a moment to thank Jules Does Stuff. They have already begun our wiki, and if any of you are interested, we would love to have you involved in helping to expand that wiki, to include much of the information that you are discovering here tonight. Trust me when I say I have worked quite hard on making this campaign something that is integrated in a way where small details are very important. If you enjoy this content, of course, we ask that, as always, you make some noise for us on social media. Help us to grow our community and bring more survivors into the fold. You can join into our Discord and you connect with others who you feel may enjoy this particular brand of Dark Ride. But overall, we appreciate you being here with us. We're about to go on a very, very dangerous journey together. Prepare yourselves. But enough of all of that. Allow me to introduce you to the players in tonight's little nightmare. Michelle, welcome back. Would you like to tell everyone a little bit about the character that you'll be playing and all of the amazing things that you do across the internet?
Sure thing. Hey, I'm Michelle and Bradley. You can find me everywhere on the internet at I am Chubby Bunny, like on Twitter and Instagram. I am here every Tuesday, and I'm also part of Paizo's cast, so you can see us there on Wednesday starting soonish. We're getting a new season sorted out, and we'll know more about that later. You can also find me over once in a while over at Critical Role. Check out our website or their YouTube, their website. For an episode I did with them for the Critical Role Blackwood Elder Scrolls Online one shot. I couldn't remember what it was called, and more projects coming up soon.
Amazing.
My,
Thank you again. Who are you
my
playing?
my character Faith. Let's see what's happening with Faith right now. So Faith is part of the Citadel, and also used to be a roommate of Camila along with Rowan. And I found Camila down in the dungeon, and we're all trying to work together to get out. Though I'm not sure why Rowan's being so nice to Camila, even though she deserted us. I think that's kind of where I'm at right now.
There hasn't been a lot of time for any of you to really discuss much of anything, as you're currently being assailed by a small army of bloodthirsty cannibals. Markia, welcome back to the show. Would you like to talk a little bit about all the things that you do and a little bit about the character that you'll be playing tonight?
Yes. Well, my name is Markia McCarty. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Markia McCarty. It's just my name. Facebook is Markia TV, and here on Twitch, it's Darth Markia. So if you have Christmas in July, I'm having Halloween in June. I've been doing a number of different horror-oriented events. One of which is, big thank you to Horrible Imaginings Film Festival, having myself, then also Alex Ward, who you know on this show as Gravedigger. We did Escape the Cinema. It's a horror escape room experience that is completely like a RPG, like a text adventure. And that was GM'd by Lauren Cupp, who you might know from Geek and Sundry. That was a really good time. You can still go to their website to go ahead and check that out. And they're trying to fundraise for Horrible Imaginings. So go ahead and shoot them some love, give them some buzz. So, as far as other horror things, I am the host and producer of Something Scary. If you go to youtube.com/snarl, you see that we are animated horror episodes. It's weekly, and then there's also a podcast version. For this particular episode, myself and also Dennis Culver, who is a writer for DC, if you know Crone. He wrote that. We co-wrote the Juneteenth Tale of Terror that you can see on the website right now. It is called Killer Family Business. And I would love for you to go ahead and check that out. And if you like it, go ahead and like, subscribe, all that jazz. Speaking of DC, Batman does. And also moving forward with my character, Achira. Achira is in an interesting predicament right now. She is stuck within this cabin that she herself helped set on fire. There are traps upon traps upon traps. They are now trapped in a hallway that has, it looks like trapped walls and trapped floors. And they just found a panel to be able to try to maybe bypass this. But the thing that they were heading towards, which was Omar, brother of Faith, he stopped screaming. So maybe there's no reason to move forward. And that's kind of what Achira is starting to think.
Amazing. Thank you again for being with us. Luis, would you like to talk a little bit about all that you do across the internet and where people can find you, and a little bit about the character that you'll be playing tonight?
Yes. Hey, everyone. I'm Luis Carrazzo. You can find me online just by searching my name on Twitter and Instagram. Luis Carrazzo. I'll pop up. There's only a few of us, apparently. I am an actor. I have a Friday, June 25th, I have a short film at the Palm Springs Film Festival, which is a really highly regarded film festival. It's the short film I've been talking to you guys about every week of Hearts and Castles. So we're screening Friday night there, and it's our first in-person film festival, so that's going to be a lot of fun. I have a film that's about to be completed that I will, at the end of this month, learn more about where it may be streaming afterwards. So more details on that soon, hopefully. And I also play Nines Rodriguez on LA by Night. Since Cynthia, you're here, you reminded me about that. And I played Lampwick. Let's talk about Lampwick. Lampwick, last time, not long ago, Lampwick was bit-ish, maybe?
Ish.
Bit-ish, maybe. So Lampwick has been with Achira for a long time, since the beginning, as Rag and Bone on Enders. And but then at some point he kind of got captured by the Shepherds, which are kind of like a cult, but then also they seem to have some sort of knowledge about the Romeros, and they seem to have an ability or a way to be able to communicate / maybe control them. So Lampwick's allegiance has sort of been overlapping with a couple places. But he's still here. For how much longer, we don't know. But he's still here.
We're glad that you are here as well with us. Last but not least, we have a special guest with us. Cynthia, would you like to talk a little bit about all the amazing things that you do on the internet and a little bit about the character that you'll be playing with us tonight?
Yeah, sure. Hey guys, I'm Cynthia Marie. You guys can find me on Twitter at @SynDancer, on Twitch at SynDancer, and Instagram Cynthia__Marie. Yeah, I know that one's different. I'm working on it. I play Nellie G on LA by Night. I don't know if you guys heard, but season 5 is coming through. We're just announced September is the official time, so check us out in September. I'm also on another vampire show that's on Play Renegade. It's called The Nightlife, where it's set in Miami. So go check us out. That is actually tomorrow at 8 p.m., 7 p.m., around there, somewhere around there. Just check out the Twitter, and I'll probably post it there. Otherwise, I'm gonna be playing on this game a little bit more, hopefully, coming up. And yeah, actually, I'm pretty steadily like not doing too much. It's summertime. Kind of want to go out and like be by the beach a little bit. So, but tonight I'm playing Camila Cervantes. She is a Citadel, now you guys know, sniper who happens to have a special package on the way. 6 months in the making so far. If you haven't figured it out, I play a woman who is pregnant in the apocalypse, yes. So we'll see how that goes. And I'm not going to reveal too much more because it's only, 3rd episode of her playing, so we'll see where she goes.
I have a feeling we're going to learn more very shortly. Thanks to all of the stalwart support that each of you have provided, every player here tonight will be earning 2 additional competency points at the start of the game. That is because each and every one of you have worked together to ensure that we reached our goal multiple times over. Each week we ask that you either help us to accomplish the goal of hitting 15 subscriptions or 100 follows. And as we have hit both multiple times over, we are going to be offering 2 competency points. However, I'm going to add another fly into the ointment of this situation for the future. Should our wiki page have 3 full pages written out, one at least for one of these players, for the character that they are portraying, I will offer an additional competency point next week if the wiki grows appropriately. Enough of all of that, however. Our road is long and it's growing very dark. It's dangerous. We should get moving. The world ended on Monday, May 29th, 1995. The sky fell, and the dead would not die. Civilization quickly collapsed, and the sickness spread like lightning to even the most remote reaches of the world. They called it many things, but it started out simply as another round of the summer flu. It became something far, far worse. H195 was commonly referred to as Legacy or the Reaper's Kiss. It was even more deadly after the individuals who had become infected passed away. They did not lie in their graves, they rose from the dead. With a strange infection that pulled them forward like tattered marionettes, they attacked family and friends, any who came within their path. At first, it seemed as though no one was immune to the airborne strain of the virus, but eventually it appeared that 0.01% of the population had a natural immunity. However, even those lucky souls couldn't withstand a concentrated introduction of the virus through a bite, or a deep scratch, or blood-on-blood contact. Any of those situations would mean a horrible death. The end of days were like wildfire, and throughout the world, people sought refuge where there was none. There was no security, there was no safety, nothing. None of it was to be found. Entire cities burned to the ground, but miraculously, some survived. And for the next 25 years, life has managed to struggle forward. Now, the world is a fractured place, but some seek to make civilization anew. Scattered civilizations have sprung up, settlements, groups of individuals who have banded together in the hopes that, as a community, they might be able to move forward. Each of these communities requires many things. There are no simple answers, no easy paths to take in this world. And so the Rag and Bone, merchants who have decided that they are able to traverse these dangerous lands and travel between these small settlements and these outposts to offer goods and services where they're most needed. These merchants have found a living amongst the apocalypse. Trade and barter are the name of the game now. The Rag and Bone work hard to maintain a world that is tethered together by some amount of normality. Food, water, medical supplies, the bare necessities of life are carried on the backs of brave souls who are willing to walk through zombie-infested forest, inhospitable mountains, endless plains. The Ender's Line is one such group. They use railway tracks to connect small and scattered outposts together. They, like all Rag and Bone, are a lifeline in a world that now belongs entirely to the dead. Camila. You were 8 years old. When the world fell, you were 3. This world around you of fire, fear, hatred, and the Walking Dead is all that you have ever known. Your days are dangerous. Your nights are often restless. But you have been blessed. You have been blessed with a family that loves you very much. Your mother and your father both care for you. Your father has been trained in the United States military, an Army veteran. He knows how to survive. When everything fell apart, you and your family were living on a military base. You no longer remember much about that place. You remember that it was warm, warmer than it is now. But your family couldn't stay there. There were fires, storms, and so many of the dead. Along with another group, your family moved north. And in doing so, everything that you owned was packed into the back of a pickup truck. But you weren't prepared for what your family would find next. Entire cities gone. Ragged, broken things, like skeletons reaching upward into the heavens. Smoke and fire. There were people, too, who were very sick, but not sick like those who walk. A sickness that was different. They were burnt. They were covered in blisters and boils. Their eyes were blank and empty. You remember them. You remember the dead. You remember guns flashing. So many nights were spent fighting off unimaginable numbers of these things. But this is all that you've known. And you no longer feared it. And at 8, you were quite used to it. At your side is a Bowie knife that was given to you by your father. It has been sharpened to a razor's edge, and he has taught you how to use it. You know that you must always be careful, and that you must never draw it unless they arrive, or unless someone that the family doesn't know, tries to take you. That is when that knife is allowed to come out, and never, ever otherwise. The others that are traveling with your family are also former military. This is really the first time that you have full memory of the world around you. There is a camp that has been set up using old shipping containers. They have been drawn together in a circle to form a wall. And inside there is a very, very simple camp that has been built. There are tents strewn out around you. After more gunshot, you see your father. It is dark, dusk, and there is a fire burning close by. Your mother is cooking by that fire. She has always been very talented. She can make so much out of very little. And while you have all been very close to starvation many times before, your mother has saved many lives. In the world before, she was a nurse, and she understands how to treat wounds, how to cure infections and illness. But there are many within this small group who have begun to become very suspicious. They don't talk to each other as much. And as the food runs out and the ammunition grows thin, there are rumblings and whispers. People are no longer happy. There is no laughter by the fire. You're not oblivious to this despite your young age. And as your father walks towards you, you can see that his smile is only an inch deep and that it is only for you. Que bonita Lita. And he leans down to you
Gracias, papi. ¿Dónde está mami?
We speak English. English is important.
Where's mom?
Good. She is cooking. And tonight, you and I are going to go for a walk. Would you like that?
Yeah. Why?
English, please?
Why?
I need to show you something.
Okay.
Come with me, mija. And he reaches out his hand to you. The two of you walk for a while. You climb up a ladder that scales the side of this campground. The shipping containers are underneath your feet now and pulls you up. It is night now, and you see fires off in the distance. But there are other strange lights that are flickering. There is gunfire in the distance, and now you recognize it. It's unending. What do you see?
I see. I see light. Lots of fire. It looks like there's a lot of destruction going on, but I don't know.
The destruction is what I'm talking about. There are people fighting other people. They are trying to take what each other has. It is very dangerous.
But why? We're all trying to survive.
Not everyone. And this is what I need you to see. I need you to see that not everyone is going to be like the people that we have traveled with, and that the people that we have traveled with are not always going to be the way that they have been. Things are becoming more difficult, and because of that, we're going to need to leave. But I have a new home for us, a new place to go. The radio, I've used it many times now, and we have found someone else. Part of my old unit, they have found a home not too far from here, to the north.
Will it be safe?
It will be safe. They are military too. They are very smart, and they have walls. We cannot live out here forever.
But are you scared that they may have changed too?
What I am scared of is that you will grow up and you will forget how much I love you.
I won't forget that.
You cannot. Everything that your mother and I do, we do for you. We do because of you. You are everything to us. For us, we are family, and family is the most important thing in this world. This fighting, what is happening out there, that is ignorance. They do not know. They do not understand. They are afraid. And in their fear, they are hurting one another. But they do not need to. Do you remember what I told you about your grandfather? About where we come from?
A little bit.
About how beautiful that place is?
Yeah. Yes.
It doesn't matter where you live, but who you live there with. And if you make a family, no matter what happens, Lita, you are always, always going to be safe.
Make a family and be safe.
Donde es mi corazón?
Aquí.
Yes. Aquí. And he presses his hand on your hand as you touch your little chest, and he kisses you on the forehead and hugs you close. And off in the horizon, you can't help but let your eyes wander as the gunfire continues and an explosion rocks the horizon. Many years later, having spent the rest of your life training in a place known as the Citadel, you have become a strong and competent woman, one that has become known as the best sniper in the facility. There are others here at the Citadel who outrank you, but not a damn one of them can outshoot you. Describe to me your quarters.
Quarters are pretty bleak, just plain walls. The bed is very much pressed and made up very military style, like you could bounce a dime off of that or a quarter. There is one picture that she was able to salvage that's kind of deteriorated and dirty and stuff like that, but it's in a what would have been a silver frame, but it's very mocked up silver frame, and it's a picture of her parents when they had gotten married years ago. Right next to it is also a messed up broken rosary, but it's sitting there, and that's pretty much really all you see in her, and her sniper gear is sitting against the door. And also if you look closely, the knife that her father had given her is actually stuck in between the mattress while she's sleeping, just in case she were to ever get attacked. She's able to pull it out of the mattress quickly and take care of herself.
Excellent. So you're in your quarters, and it's moving towards evening. There's still a little light out. All of the windows here at the Citadel are barred. It is unbeknownst to you, more like a prison than it is a home. However, you've not known very much else, and your young adult years have been spent within these walls, training and preparing for a war. You have become a very adept soldier, and you have made friends and allies. Relationships have formed here. And through all of those relationships, you have seen a number of your allies die in the middle of combat. Clearing the dead is no small thing. And the Citadel has become known as a force of power within this region. As to whether or not they're a force of good, you have begun to question that. You've seen some very unforgivable things. You've seen harshness where it did not need to be. The lieutenants here reign over everything, all in the name of command. A mysterious leadership that is never seen. Only the lieutenants ever speak directly to command. There are mysterious radio communications, and secrets are everywhere. Many in the Citadel don't question this reality because they're alive. But at the Citadel, you earn what you get. If you are good at something, your rations improve, your quarters improve, your life situation is better than it would be if you were not as useful. There are many within the Citadel's ranks that do not have special skills, are unable to quickly learn many of the techniques that they need to be able to succeed within this environment. There has been suicide. There has been mysterious death. People have disappeared, gone without a trace. The brig has oftentimes been used as a punishment tool, not just for those who would encroach upon the Citadel's territory, but also for those who would not find themselves willing to submit to the authority of those in charge. Any who question orders are in danger. There's a knock at your door.
Who is it?
It's Riggs. You there? Want to take a walk?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, give me a second. Put on a different shirt, kind of like pull my hair back, kind of fix it as best as I can. Open the door.
There's
just a
my
walk or
yeah, let's start with a walk and we'll see what shakes loose.
okay.
You doing all right, honey bunny?
Yeah. I'm just thinking about some stuff, but yeah, no, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm all right. You look a little distracted.
Just thinking about my dad.
Yeah, your dad was tough as nails.
Not
He's a
as
good
tough as
man.
you.
Yeah, I was a kid when I knew him, but he was a good man. He taught me a lot.
Yeah.
I miss him too. But let's take this walk. Like, fuck this place. It's stale in here.
All right, yeah, I could use some fresh air.
He wraps his arm around your waist and kind of ushers you out. And when the two of you walk out, others within the Citadel, the soldiers and the guards, all kind of like start dispersing away, giving both of you plenty of space. And he walks you out into the courtyard where there is a number of poles, flag poles that have been set up. I got you a little present. I thought you might be ready for a change. And he points over to a wooden crate that's on the ground about 20 feet away from you.
You didn't get me a dead body, did you?
No, I got you that last time. This time, I wanted to get you something with a little substance to show you how classy it is. I got you a fucking gun.
Oh. No, that's useful.
Indeed it is, especially in your hands. That old rifle you've been carrying, I know it has sentimental value, but it might be time to kind of let it go by the wayside, don't you think?
I wouldn't say put it by the wayside, but you know, an improvement is good. An improvement's good. Change is good.
Indeed it is. Now, this isn't exactly something that you're going to be able to do your sniping magic with, but it is something that I picked up given the resources that we were able to find on that last run. I hope you like it. It's I'm going to let you name it. I was going to go with Bertrude, but I didn't think that would be appropriate. And he pops open the lid of this wooden crate, and you see an AR-15 inside of it. And there are a number of clips that he's jammed in there, and there's some boxes of ammo.
I'm gonna take it out and inspect it.
Now, that's only one of 4 that we've got on the site currently. You know, certainly we're going to find you something with a better scope, and we'll figure out the rest of this. But this little baby, given the right situation, will tear through some motherfuckers if things go south.
All for me?
Indeed, you know me. I'm a romantic at heart.
Evidently. It throws her arms around him.
He picks you up and kind of swings you into a kiss, and the two of you are, for the most part, alone. There are still guards that are walking around the perimeter and up on the wall. But again, as I said, they're kind of giving you your distance. That's not everything, though. Honey Bunny, I really wanted to take care of you, and I know you had a disagreement with Sarah from the breadbasket. I know that she was trying to rip you off, right? The trade deal. You remember how wrong that went.
It was. What of it, though?
Well, you came back with a black eye. So, I was always taught, when you love a woman, you get her jewelry. And he reaches into a saddlebag that he's got on his side, and he pulls out a severed hand. On it is a ring. For you.
Huh. Well, I wasn't entirely wrong with the dead body.
It's just her hand. She'll get past it. We cauterized it before we left. But she's never gonna punch you again.
I'd take the ring off and inspect that, too.
Yeah, it's probably about 6 carats. It's huge. For what you
did
find.
well, darling.
I try. You want to go get a late dinner?
Yeah, let's go. Let's go eat.
And the two of you slip off into the night. But before you step out of the courtyard, you notice a couple of individuals whispering behind your back. They start talking as you and Riggs walk away. You feel their eyes upon both of you.
Do I have anything that I can actually read their lips or something? No.
You could make a spot listen if you like, and if you do exceptionally well, I will allow you to hear some of what's being said. Otherwise, it's the general sense that people are talking about you and Riggs as you are walking away.
I'm curious. Also, I need to warm up roll 20 anyways, so.
All right. So go ahead and do it. You don't have to spend any competency right now, of course, if you fail. So I don't think you have a lot to lose here.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, so you don't hear
cool,
anything.
Great.
You're distracted, and Riggs is jabbering on about something as he kind of has his arm around you and is walking away. The hand is behind all of you, and you've got this ring on your finger now. It fits pretty well. It's a little loose. You're going to have to probably resize it yourself. But the two of you walk off to the canteen, and when you get towards the cafeteria, you see a young man who is standing there, and he immediately bolts into attention and salutes both of you as you walk through. The door opens and both of you pass. Not a word is said. And inside, you see a table that has a white linen cloth on it that has just a few smears of what looked like it might have been blood at one point. But there are there's a table setting with mismatched plates and forks. And there is a single candle that is burning and 2 foil wrapped MREs that are sitting on either of the plates. It's not a steakhouse, but the boys and I figured this might work. And he pulls out the chair for you.
Oh, thank you.
Pushes it underneath you and then sits across from you. Look, I'm not exactly graceful when it comes to words. I mean, I know words. I can fucking talk all day long. I just don't use the kind of words that most people use in these sorts of situations where they're content with their significant other, right?
Mm-hmm. So just spit it out already. What do you want to say?
You're a hell of a shot, and I'm really into you. I know we have had this thing going on for a while, but I thought, fuck it, Why just take the milk when I can get the cow? Why don't you move into my quarters?
Yeah. I didn't even think about that logic. Okay, on one condition though, that I don't lose my quarters.
I don't think that's gonna. Well, I'm not in. Well, yeah, I think we could work that out. Are you gonna use it as like a workout room or a place to keep your guns?
That, or if the future goes well, and I don't know, like family extended. I mean, I don't know. Just yeah. Put my guns there. Sure, yeah.
Honey Bunny family? No. I'm sorry. I thought we had this conversation. Like, I'm not.
Yeah, we did. It's fine.
We can adopt one of the kids that are, running around here. There's a 14-year-old they just brought in, and he's mean as shit. He knows how to cuss better than I do. I don't know where they found him. He was biting everyone, but I think we can get him past that. And maybe if you're looking.
Yeah. Yeah, I would love to take care of him.
All right. Yeah, maybe I'll pull some strings, and on weekends we could go and help train him.
Okay. He can stay in my quarters.
Oh no, he's staying in the barracks. I mean, him and the rest of the brats are all going to be together. I mean, that's standard protocol. We can't have them. They need to become a unit, so they're going to stay together. But like I said, two days out of a week, we can go take him on special recon missions, maybe do some foraging. Yeah, it'll be just like having a regular kid.
Okay. Is that what you want?
Baby, I just want to make you happy. That's what I want,
That would make me happy then.
Yeah, if that's what's going to make you happy, then I'm happy too. I guess this is what they call the good life. And he rips open the MRE and just starts eating like an animal. Just without any manners whatsoever. He is tearing into this kind of gross concoction that oozes onto the plate. And through a mouthful of food, he just kind of smiles at you, Camilla, as you begin questioning some of your life choices.
Yep.
However, currently, all of you are in a much different situation. Disgusting MREs and uncouth assholes aside, that would be a paradise to where you found yourselves now. All of you are together, along with Rowan. You have managed to make your way through a series of corridors that are attached to the cabin that has been built into the side of these hills. There are ragged, empty trees surrounding this place, but you're deep underground. Corrugated steel, old rotten wood, and heavy metal planks have been used to build a series of structures. Little more than hillbilly-styled shacks that have been linked together in a long, unending series of corridors. Each of you has found your way here through different means. Some of you traveled through a number of passages that you found. Others had been kidnapped. Some of you fell through traps into this area. However, as you and your companions have gathered together, the other survivors have found that you are not alone in this place. There are a number of the group that has been hunting you here, and you are now positive they have not completed their hunt quite yet. A series of traps have been laid out before you. Some of these large rooms that have been hollowed out of the earth have been used as tanneries. There are large domed holes that have been dug and reinforced in the ground that are filled with both urine and blood. Animals and people have been found hanging from hooks, draining, their skin and hides removed. Camilla, you were kidnapped and taken here 3 weeks ago. You thought, like all of your other companions, the others who went AWOL from the Citadel, you believed that you were as good as dead. However, they have not harmed you. They have not hurt you. They have, in fact, cared for you, fed you, given you water. And though you are loath to think too hard about the meat that they have served you, you have survived. These marauders have been very careful to protect you, or as you suspect, the baby inside of you, very closely. However, you were saved by Faith, a familiar face, and while perhaps not your first choice of rescue, one that has managed to pull you out of the depths of despair and fear of what might happen without some sort of intervention from the outside. You have been saved. And together you traveled through some of these corridors only to meet the individual known as Lampwick, also recently hurt from a trap that had been sprung upon him. Achira joined the group shortly thereafter, having leapt through the ceiling, burning half of this complex behind her. Using a series of explosives, she managed to divert attention from herself, and many of her pursuers are now quite dead. However, given the numbers that Achira was able to count, that may not have been enough. There are always more, it seems. These wild people who have decided to forego any amount of civility in their approach to any of you have one thing on their minds. They wish to capture you and keep you until they are ready to kill you and eat you. No amount of negotiation or conversation has borne any fruit whatsoever. They have managed to very cunningly direct each and every one of you exactly where they want you. They utilize nature around them with great skill. They have become naturalists who understand the world outside of a structured civilization. They are their own society, but it is one that is close to nature. And they have utilized the power of all of the animals that surround them. There have been bears and wolves. Crows have been used as an alarm system. Other animals have been brought into the fold of this group, and you've seen them used with frightening effect. Inside of the corridor, having passed over a number of trigger plates, you have found yourself able to open a secret passageway that leads into an even tighter series of tunnels. And Camilla, within that passageway, you have found the individual who has been spying on you this entire time. You had seen the eyes peering at you through cracks in the wall. And now you see who they belong to. A small, ragged, 8-year-old boy, covered in filth and wearing a bone necklace. He has grabbed onto your hand and is pulling you forward. I would like for you to make a lift pull check if you wish to escape his grasp. With 3 degrees of failure, do you wish to use any of your competency to correct that?
Can you remind me how many I need to use to correct it?
4. If it helps you, you are in a location hazard.
I don't think that helps me.
It does help some of your fellow survivors, though.
Yeah, so I've heard. No, I'm gonna hold on to my competency points and I'm gonna roll with this one.
So be it. The dirty child pulls you forward and drags a bone knife across your arm. You feel it tear into your flesh, and heavy, hot blood flows from it. You put a 3 and a 4 on your damage track, please. What is your threshold?
I am still learning this part of the
So on
sheet,
your
I'm
character
sorry.
sheet, you should be able to see a damage threshold on the right side. I can also look for you.
I think it's 10 because it says 4 total with 6 bonus.
Your damage
correct?
threshold. Your sheet has not correctly pulled up for me, so I am unable to see it. I'm going to take you at your word.
Okay.
Once you hit 10 on your
Okay.
threshold, that needs to move over to an injury. So, and I will correct that in just a moment here. So you have a 4 and a 3 on your damage track. That means that you have 7. If you gain 3 or above on any further damage, this is no longer going to be superficial wounds. It is going to become a debilitating injury that is going to cause you some difficulty as we move forward. And wounds are very hard to heal in this game.
Oh boy.
All right, so that is what happens. The dirty boy looks at you and sort of snarls at you, and you see rotten, jagged teeth, and his dark eyes kind of dart backwards as he seems to be distracted by something behind him. Everyone, what do you have, Camila?
No, just go for it.
Go
ahead.
So Camilla screams out in pain. Faith, Lampwick, Achira, and Rowan, you are inside this corridor, and Camilla has tried to shimmy into this smaller passageway. There is a square bit of metal that has been pried off of the wall. Again, this was some sort of secret panel that had allowed a corridor to run parallel with this larger corridor. You know that the corridor that you're standing in is laden with various traps, and you have been very careful to trigger as few of them as possible as you move through. However, when the others discovered this, Camila was able to open and enter into the space. However, clearly something is attacking her inside. You cannot see what it is. What are each of your intentions?
Is Faith still quite far away? Because I believe I was like back a bit from where they were, because I'd left them to come back, or am I close by again?
You had actually, I do believe you had walked away to try to scout ahead. Is that correct?
I think so.
Yeah. So go ahead and make a spot listen for me.
So we'll make what's going on.
yeah. Well, it's for that and for what's ahead of you. All right. Lampwick, Achira, what are your intentions?
Well, if I'm not far behind Camila and I hear her scream in pain as she's trying to get inside of this opening, I think I would rush up to her and try to kind of help her get back. So I'm going to check on Camila and try to pull her back in.
Okay. So go ahead and make a lift pull for me as you're going to try to pull her back. What about Achira?
I think I was probably closest to where Camilla went into the wall. So I think as a scare tactic, if she's in there screaming, but she also had a light. So if whatever's in there would also be able to see, I think Achira is going to shove her long gun past Camilla, as this is as a scare tactic, as an intimidation to whatever is making her scream.
Are you going to fire, or are you just going to put the gun out there so that they see the muzzle of the weapon?
So they see the muzzle of the weapon, kind of like an intimidate type of a thing. I don't think things will go well if I shoot this long gun off
inside
basically
of a small corridor
on top of Camilla's shoulder. But I will be in position if it has to happen the next round.
Okay, are you saying anything to add to that?
I'll do I do a guttural scream
Okay, so
into the space.
go ahead and make an intimidate check. And I'm going to give you 1 degree of success to start with, because you have a gun that is clear and present in this.
Can I use the long gun with the intimidate?
You can just use your intimidate skill, but I've given you a single success to start with. So unless you get a large number of failures, those degrees of failure will take that away, but you have 1 to start with.
Okay, so no long gun.
No long gun. Yeah, you're not actually firing the gun, so you can't use that skill.
Got it.
It's more of a tool to assist you in your intimidate. Okay, and so your scream echoes through. I'm going to start here. Lampwick, I'm going to say that you grab on and you're trying to pull, but you have 5 degrees of failure.
Yeah.
So unless you want to correct this by spending some competency, I'm actually going to say that you end up pushing Camilla further into the hole, because you grab onto her and you misguided how much pain you were in from your shoulder, and you pulled back and immediately kind of fell on her. So you actually end up pushing her into the hole a little further, as Achira drives her rifle barrel into this very tight space and screams. Camilla, however, all of this chaos has succeeded in intimidating, thanks to Achira's scream, which is 2 degrees of success, and causing this boy to let go of you and to immediately backpedal back in the hole.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Come on. Let's try to get you back. I'm gonna try to like kind of stabilize myself and still continue to help, but I definitely shoot Achira a look of fuck. I need help.
You need first aid? I can look at you real quick.
There's no time for that right now. Let's get her out of here. But yeah, I do need you to take a look at some point, but just let's help her. And I'm gonna put my attention back on Camila and try to help her get back on her feet and inside.
All right. The 3 of you kind of pull yourselves back up. Do you block this hole or do you keep it open?
I mean, I would like to keep it open, but like basically like body blocking, because I'm also gonna use my intimidation and basically look at the kid and go, "You try that again, I swear to God, I'm gonna kill you. I need to know who the hell you are."
Like a rock rolling through a metal tube. You hear a skittery noise, and that kid is long gone. You hear rumbling through a series of those metal passageways. As soon as he started backing up from Achira's scream, he didn't stop. So as you were being pulled out, he was running the opposite way. And from what you saw, he lives in these tunnels, and he knows how to move through them very quickly, like a strange little spider baby crawling through this corridor with amazing speed.
Do we have any other options in terms of moving forward? Is this the only way?
We can keep on trying to go through the traps, or we can try to go through whatever that kid thing's crawl spaces, which I think would have less traps, but it is in there. But we do know that we can scare it.
Yeah. I say let's go there. And if he's running as fast as he seems to be, then either he knows every step to make, or you're right, this direction is less dangerous than where we just came from.
Are we still going to keep on trying to head towards Omar?
Faith, how did you do in your spot listen?
I got 3 degrees of failure, so like not super great. Yeah.
So you hear screams, and none of the screams have been Omar for a while now. You haven't heard Omar scream, but there are people screaming further down this direction.
I start to turn back to see where the group is, worried about Rowan, and if I see them all trying to go towards like a tunnel, I'm just gonna go with them as well.
All right. So the four of you are standing outside of this tunnel. Do you wish to take it?
Yeah.
I'd prefer to go for the tunnel. Out of the tunnel or the hallway, I'd prefer the tunnel.
But we have no idea where the rest of the group is. At least I don't, unless you do.
Camila, did that thing that attacked you, did it seem like killable, or was it a Romero, or what was it?
Looked like a child.
Rowan walks up from the far side of the corridor where she was trying to kind of scout the way back. Look, I did us all a favor, and I blocked the door in here. So if we're going to go back, I need to know now, because it's going to take me a few minutes to unwedge that metal bar I just pressed up against the door.
Looks like we're going forward. Let's take a look at that cut that you got. Anyone? Achira, you're the one with the magic hands.
I can
Seems to be
do my
bleeding a
best
little bit.
with it. Camilla, if you want to come over here for a second, I can try to see what I can do.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And you're sure it wasn't a tiny Romero child, Camilla?
No, this was from a knife.
Okay, I don't know. I thought you got bit. I got confused. All right.
It's a very small knife that cut me.
Okay.
It was a bone knife.
Well, that's helpful. It's a bone knife. Great.
So kind of both.
So Camila, how and Lampwick looks at your belly. How far along are you again?
Oh, 5 months, 4 months, 6. It's. I lost a month in here, to be honest with you. So I really don't. I don't know.
Do you mind? And I kind of lay out my hand as if to touch.
Yeah.
I place my hand on the belly just to see if the baby moves.
After a moment, Lampwick, you feel a kick.
Wow.
It makes you think of her and everything that you've lost.
Pull my hand away. Yeah, you got a feisty one in there, huh?
Yeah, I've been calling it a little shit kicker.
Let's hope that they come out and start kicking some of these people's shits. This world's full of people that deserve it.
Do you call them that because of the father? Is the father like that?
Yeah, no, I mean,
Let's change the goddamn subject and get on the move here. Are you going to look at her wound or not? Rowan kind of speaks up and is a little harsher than she has been.
Achira rolled 2 degrees of failure on the first aid.
Do you wish to let that ride?
I'll use 3 competency points to make it 1 degree of success.
Did you take your additional competency for the situation that you found yourself in?
I took my location hazard competency, and that is exactly what I'm using right now.
Excellent. So with 3 degrees of, well, you'll have 1 degree of success since you're using 3 competency points. You do manage to clean the wound. You're looking at it. Achira, it's infected.
Oh, no.
There are already black veins working their way across the side of the wound.
Can I use more competency?
You certainly can.
I'm going to use 2 more competency points to make it 3 degrees of success.
In doing so, you realize that you could potentially save Camilla's life, but you're going to need to remove the lower portion of her arm.
Oh, wow.
The bone knife that has cut her was made from a Romero. The marrow must have infected her, and it is quickly spreading.
I'm gonna take a look. If any of that has, unless you haven't made me aware of it, but
Are we in a formation right now?
You are in a formation, as long as Lampwick is present.
mhm.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Luis, go ahead. But you see Achira
Yeah.
take a rope out and start wrapping it around Camilla's lower arm.
Okay, we've seen this before, I'm sure. Weren't we long ago going to do this with Malibu Stacy? Was that the situation where we were
Malibu
debating?
Stacy didn't survive.
Didn't survive, but we debated doing this to her. I think I recall. Okay, what do you need me to do, Achira?
Whoa, what the fuck is going on? Camilla, so you're
Yeah.
infected?
Hey,
I'm in-
look, Camila. Yes, I mean, I'm gonna take a look at the wound. And is it clear? Are there those like black veins that were?
There is a purplish discoloration that is quickly spreading along with the black veins. Her blood seems to be turning, and there is the smallest indication of black bile on the outskirts of that wound. It is bleeding heavily, but through the red, you see those streaks of black, and there is no question in your mind, Lampwick. That small child was wielding a bone knife made from a Romero's femur or some
right.
other part of their body to spread the infection intentionally.
We need to act fast, and I'm helping Achira, but I'm also like studying this visual of the spread. And if I see that it's moving fast through her body and like that bile is starting to ooze, I'm taking note of every little detail about what I notice. And I'm also like pulling your arm out. Look, this is for you and for the kid.
No,
but this
what
is-
the fuck? I
No,
need
no,
my
no.
fucking arm.
If you're not gonna make it.
It's just gonna spread.
Camilla, this is standard
We've-
protocol. You know what we
We've
have
seen
to
this
do.
before. I'm so sorry. I promise you, next chance I'll shoot the little shit. But this has to happen now.
Achira, I'll help you. I want to help Achira do the thing. Oh man, this sucks. I have a fire axe.
I'm also helping tie that up, and I'm gonna pull like something from my bag, like a rag or something that you can bite down on, because this is gonna hurt, and this needs to happen fast. I'm making a tourniquet.
So the first thing that you do is tourniquet the arm. I'd like for somebody to make a first aid for that tourniquet.
Crap.
I have
So,
first aid. Should I? Or go ahead.
Yeah,
My
go for
original
it.
roll that I did with the extra competency, where I threw in an additional 2 into.
That was to clean the wound and to prepare it for what you're about to do. So it's disinfected and ready to go. But if you're going to move forward with an amputation, there's going to be a series of rolls here.
Got it.
It's not a simple thing to do, and there are a lot of dangers to it. Does that sound fair to all of you?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Look, this is not my specialty, so you all tell me where you want me, and I will help. I'm gonna try to keep you calm.
Achira looks over at Faith.
All right, let's do this. Would I be rolling slashing?
So yes, for your axe,
Yep.
you're going to use a slash, and who was doing the tourniquet?
Oh,
Oh, you're doing the tourniquet. So the first thing is for the tourniquet. The second roll is going to be to strike it with the axe, which I thought you were doing, Faith.
okay. I got confused. So I can do either. I have
Okay.
very good slashing and very good first aid. Just the metagame, real quick. Table talk.
That's fair to table talk. If you're going to do both, then you may. But I need you to
Oh,
first
okay.
roll the first aid, and then we'll talk about what happens next.
Yeah, we might need to cauterize afterward.
I got that. Rowan is already pulling out a small jar that she has, and she's opening it up, and it looks like it's full of moonshine. She puts it up to Camilla. I don't think this is exactly good for the baby, but at this point, I think the baby might forgive you for one stiff drink, right, hon?
I can't even fucking comprehend what's going on right now.
You're
let alone
about to
try have
lose
a
your
drink.
arm. Sit back. And you see the horribly scarred face of Rowan, and she just sort of looks at you strongly. You can do this.
I'm not gonna be the best fucking sniper anymore. How am I gonna
Hey,
protect
no.
my fucking
Listen.
child?
You'll be
You
fine.
don't-
You'll be fine. I'm gonna take her hand and I'm gonna put my hand back on her belly and I'm gonna just tell her, like, feel the baby's kicking. The baby's kicking. Just feel the baby with me. Just feel the baby with me. Just
Listen,
stay with me.
Camilla, your trigger hand is the other hand. We'll figure this out. Now drink some of this. And she like pushes the moonshine to your lips.
Oh, I got a drink. I got like 5 people on me, so I can't fight this.
And then she puts the rag in your mouth and kind of holds it for you as she presses down her knee on your other hand so that you can't flail around. She's like holding you down.
Mm-hmm.
And she has the jar ready, Faith, to kind of douse the wound. And you can see that she's got in her other hand one of Rig's Zippos.
Okay, I rolled first aid first for the tourniquet. I got 1 success.
Okay, you managed to tourniquet the wound or to the arm, and you think that it's sufficient. You don't think that it would slip. You think it's going to be good enough to keep her from bleeding out.
Okay, and then slashing. Ooh. Oh god! Thank goodness.
Wow.
1 success. Is that enough? Do I need to buff that more?
You have a single success. That degree of success might be enough. Do you want to buff it more to ensure that this strike is going to take the arm clean off?
It would be a shame for our guests to lose their life again on the show. I'll go ahead and use 2 points of competency to make that 3 total.
All right.
Thank you, chat.
You spend
Extra 2.
2 competency points to bring that to 3 degrees of success, which is essential in this situation because 3 was the magic number to do this in 1 strike. Otherwise, you would have had to have taken multiple hits, which would have caused additional damage. It would have been much more brutal, and it wouldn't have been a clean cut. However, Faith, you steel yourself, you look to Camilla, you hold this fire axe tight in your hands, and with military precision and training, you do what you've done before. This isn't your first rodeo. You've been here in the past. This is necessary, and the Citadel has prepared you for it. You raise the axe over your head, and we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. The fire axe drops down and immediately severs the lower portion of your forearm, Camilla. I need you to make a resist pain roll for me.
Great. Where? Oh, there it is. Found it.
You have 3 black dice of difficulty that I would ask that you add to that.
Oh,
which
3.
you
Okay.
Yeah.
Like 2. Okay.
Despite everything and the immense amount of pain that you are in, you have a single degree of success, which means you bite back the pain and you do not yell. Tears are streaking down your face as you hold back the immense amount of agony that you are feeling as you look down and just see the red spurts surrounding the ground where your arm has now separated itself. But thankfully, the black, veiny portion of your arm, which was getting worse by the moment, has now been completely removed. Faith, you pull the axe back and it drips heavily with gore. Without wasting a moment, Rowan grabs the stump, douses it in moonshine, and lights it on fire. There is a short burn, and she stokes it with a dry rag, wrapping it quickly. Make an endurance check, please, Camila. That is 5 degrees of failure. Do you wish to allow that to ride?
No, I'm not. I have, I believe, 6 competency points. Could I use those?
You can use all 6 of your competency points. Typically, it is firmly up to the game master to make that decision. Usually, in rules as written, you would only be allowed to be spending 3 at a time. However, I'm going to allow you to spend all 6. And if you do, it will put you into 1 degree of success, which means that you will not pass out.
Yep. I'm gonna use them all.
You are now out of competency points, but Camilla, you are conscious. And even though the corners of your vision begin to blur and go dark, you push past the pain. Lampwick, you've been watching all of this, and the veins on the arm continue to pull out. And you watch as the infection spreads. Faith, Achira, Lampwick.
How the hell did you stay conscious for that?
I want to fucking talk about it.
I'm gonna kind of like step away. I'm gonna approach the tunnel and kind of take a look, but I'm also gonna kind of feel my arm and if I can move. I'm wearing the kind of riot gear, but I want to. If there's a way for me to kind of take a peek at what that's looking like, I want to try to do it.
I would like for you to make a stealth roll.
Chira's going to be talking to Camilla during this time. I've seen a number of bites, slashes. What that kid used was the worst that I think I've seen.
Yeah.
That's why it acted so fast. It's not normally like that. Or at least what I've seen.
Gotta kill that kid.
Yeah, you know what's funny is it's a big metaphor for what's happened to me. And she kind of indicates looking at the ring that was on her hand.
It's lying on the severed hand.
I go over to the hand and I hold it down with my boot and kind of use the edge of the axe to like kind of slip it off without touching it. And I wrap it up in a piece of fabric and give it to Camilla. Look, I don't really understand why you left. I don't know what a metaphor is, but I don't want you to die out here, and not the baby too. You gotta come back with us. Rowan said you can do whatever you want, so I will follow her orders, but I mean, I miss you.
I miss you too, but I'm not going back to him. I'm not. Fuck, I lose both of my arms. Not be able to hold my baby if I didn't have to go back there.
Well, we're not gonna chop off your other arm. What I'm trying to say is this kind of came out of this weird cave a lot worse than you came in, and I don't know if you're gonna survive out there by yourself. So yes, choose what you want to do, but I think you'd be safer with us.
Look at that ring.
I open up the fabric. What about it?
Do you recognize it at all?
No, it's a ring. I don't know. It's round.
Remember that one time I came back all bloodied up? Had a big old shiner.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, it was some woman who hit me. That ring was stolen from her. Just like how you cut my hand off. He did that to her.
What did she do to deserve it?
She hit me.
Okay.
Point is, I'm not going back to him.
All right.
So you can hold on to that ring if you want to go back and show him.
I do not want to do that. He will be very angry with me, but I will keep it for you if you change your mind. I put it in a pocket.
Look, our mission parameters are very clear here, kids, and we're going to just follow through on what we did, what we are doing. We're going to survive all of this back and forth about you coming with us, not coming with us. It is what it is. We can decide it all later. Right now, we need to get you patched up, make sure that you can move, and we need to roll out. Does anybody disagree?
Not
No,
here.
ma'am.
Rowan kind of looks out. I'm going to scout ahead. Did you hear anything up there, soldier? She looks to you, Faith.
No, just more human screams, which, I mean, that's already bad, but nothing different. No Omar.
All right, I'm gonna scout ahead. Let's keep the chatter on the DL right now, and no more talk about the Citadel. All right, you just rest up. She leaves the jar of moonshine there next to you, Camilla, and then walks further up and starts like testing out the corridor.
So I got 1 success on my stealth.
Should we try to notice?
You did, like, Rowan walks past you and you kind of like stop, but Rowan just kind of like walks past you without noticing, and so you think you're in the clear.
Okay.
Can you make a first aid check?
Sure.
Lampwick, you examine the wound, and it is a bite mark. There are teeth indentations. It's a bloody kind of mess. That thing took a chunk out of your arm.
Any dice of difficulty? I've been rolling with 1.
Just the one. Yeah, because of that's because of your wound from being speared as you fell down the hole. You don't know. As you look at this, do you want to spend any competency points to correct your 3 degrees of failure?
I'm gonna let this one ride.
Okay, you're uncertain, but what you do know for a fact, Lampwick, this wound looks nothing like that wound.
Okay. I guess I could be reassuring for now, because that was pretty awful what we just saw. All right, let's get going then. I start to follow Rowan, and then I turn and look back and see where the rest of them are.
All right. So Rowan's moved ahead of you and is scouting out the area down below. It's a very long corridor. She's testing out the ground. You can see that she triggers a couple of simpler traps where there are spears that have been pressed up out of the ground, and you watch as they kind of raise up out of the bottom of this thing through some sort of weighted pressure plate where it cantilevers up. When you step in one point, it throws the spear out. And she's messing with that. It doesn't make a whole lot of noise, but you do hear a little bit of commotion from there. You hear the screams of unknown individuals further down in this corridor. And then you turn back, and it's Camilla handling all of this pain in a pool of her own blood like a boss. And everyone else is helping her up. Faith is wielding this axe, and Achira is helping her to stand. What do all of you want to do?
I mean, I think that right now, let's follow Rowan and let's get out of here. I'm again gonna help Camilla if she needs help, and I just say to them, "Hey, look, so Rowan's up there. I guess we gotta stay close. We should all stay close."
We're definitely going to try for the corridor and not for the crawl space then.
Hey, whatever way you guys decide, I'm fine with it. We just need to go.
I'm gonna follow Rowan. I think we're either all gonna live together or we're all gonna die apart. This is not the greatest situation to be in. I start to head towards Rowan's direction.
all of you immediately realize that it would be next to impossible for Camilla to make it through that tight space, both pregnant and newly amputated. That would be almost impossible for her. So you have little choice as all of you begin moving down the corridor. If you're in a formation, I will take that into consideration as I give all of you your dice pools that you should roll. However, I would like anyone who is paying attention to make a spot listen check.
Are we using any of our gear for this?
If you choose to. So if anyone has recon gear or any specific, great. Faith has rolled with 2 degrees of success. Achira has 2 degrees of success. And though I don't often speak directly about my risk pools, and that may be a flaw from my personal style of narration, but I will say that thanks to Camilla's ability to withhold from screaming, the risk in this situation is much lower than it would have been otherwise. And as all of you are moving forward, Lampwick, you are the only one who has failed with 1 degree of failure. Do you wish to let that ride?
I'll let that ride.
Perhaps you're paying more attention to Camilla and the others than, or your own situation.
For sure.
Than you are as to what is ahead of you. However, Achira and Faith, you see Rowan a slight distance up this dark corridor. She has her light lit, the small flashlight that she's carrying. It has a large battery attached to it, and she has it strapped to the end of her rifle. She's pointing it down the corridor, and what you see at the end of this passageway causes you all to stop. There is a fully flayed human being hanging from chains, skinless, pointing in one direction like a marionette from the ceiling. There is only one direction that you can see to go, which is to turn sharply to the right and walk down that passageway.
I don't like this. I don't like anything about this.
Is definitely a trap, right? So what should we not go that way? Or
if they still made in dictionaries, this would be the picture next to trap.
But it's the only way we can go, right?
It's the only way we can go.
Unless there's something behind this thing. Achira's going to search behind it or to the left of it.
It is very close to the wall, Achira. Are you going to press yourself past it? You will be smearing yourself in the gore.
Does it look like black bile or does it look like human remains?
It looks like human remains. There's no sign of black bile here. And as this body seems to be whole, if it was infected, it would most likely try to attack you. Sadly, this was just a person.
Achira is going to squeeze past it to look to see if there is a different route that's not a crawl space and that's not where this corpse is pointing for us to go.
Make a spot listen with 1 black die of difficulty added to it.
Can I still use my recon gear?
If you choose to use your recon gear here, it will be covered in the gore as well.
You know what? It's not that important for recon gear. We'll let it be.
All right. Pushing forward, blood and viscera smears across you. You start to examine the wall behind it. You have 1 degree of failure. Do you wish to alter that?
I'll go ahead and put in 2 degrees, 2 competency points.
Making that a single degree of success.
Oh, okay, got it. 3.
2 degrees of success. You almost missed it. There's another access panel off to the side in the corner of this wall. It's about the same size as the previous one.
I'm going to open it. See if it's the same kind of small crawl space that we were dealing with before.
What do the rest of you do as you see Achira starting to pry at the wall from behind this gory mess that is hanging from the ceiling?
I'm gonna look for signs of any kind of traps being activated or starting to like fall down or something like that.
Everything seems to be clear here.
Okay.
Rowan has stopped and is near you and is just kind of scouring both corridors, looking back and forth, weapon drawn, shining some light. Should anything come near, it seems that she's ready to fire.
Okay. So she's covering the corridor that this body is sort of pointing towards as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to examine the body a little bit, see if I can, I don't know, I'm just going to walk up to it and see. Is it naked? Has it been, you said that has it been skinned yet?
It is fully skinned. It is you're uncertain whether or not at one point it was a male or a female person. However, its flesh has been so ratted and covered with cuts that it's just a bloody mess, like a fleshy, bloody skeleton that has been chained up on hooks, meat hooks, that are embedded into the metal ceiling above. And the arm, like a marionette, has been hoisted outward. It was a serious piece of work. They didn't just manage this, and whoever it was probably suffered horribly in the making of this effigy.
Wow. And whoever did it probably enjoyed it. I'm just gonna look at this and then up at the chains and kind of follow the chains up to wherever they're connected to, just trying to see if I can notice any little details that might give us anything, since
it's very dark. Lampwick, do you light a flashlight or something, or a lighter or something to create some sort of illumination in this area?
I'll just kind of nod to Rowan, since Rowan is kind of using a flashlight a little bit, and point up just to see if she can shine a light up there. I lost my lamp.
Yeah. So yeah, you lost almost everything. She turns and shines it up to the ceiling, and you see that it's just welded chain onto metal. There's nothing special about it. Achira, if you're going to open this panel, you can make a lift pull, or if you would like to be a little more cautious about it, it's possible for you to potentially use your stealth.
I would most definitely use my stealth, because my intention here is, since this looks about the same size of the other door that we had before, my intention is to open this. I do have a packet of rusty nails. I would basically trap this section on both sides of the crawl space in the dark corners for that kid who, or anybody else who's running around in crawl spaces, because they're not going to expect that. So I want to open this, put my packet of nails, on both sides, and then close it like nobody ever saw it. So then we continue on. So I would love to use my stealth on this.
Make a stealth roll for me as you quietly do this. Now, the trade-off in this, Achira, is that it's going to take you longer. It's a slower action. You're going to be really carefully prying this panel off the wall as opposed to just yanking it off. So while you're doing that, Camila, what are you doing?
I think Camila's just really out of it now. Like, she's just trying to survive. So they're like, everything's kind of a blur in front of her. Like, she's just kind of concentrating on her baby inside her and just hoping to survive and get out of here.
The pain is now a dull throb, and shock has thoroughly continued in this moment. So you think that, thankfully, you're being spared a large amount of that pain. However, you wonder what will happen when that shock wears off.
Yeah.
Faith, what are you doing?
Since the area's already been checked for traps and Rowan seems to have the corridor covered, I think I'm going to maybe try to, I can't really tell what Shira's doing right now, but I would probably try to help investigate the body, even though I know everyone's already doing that already, to see if I can see anything different, or see if there's any sort of, what's the word, identification, like laying around the floor, like an old pin or something from the body, clothes, anything like that.
You are investigating that area. Make a search check for me, please, Faith.
Sure.
And Lampwick, you can also make a search check, as you now have light on those chains. It seems as if the ceiling and the welded chain has very little to reveal, but now that there is light in this area, perhaps you'll notice something else. All right. So, Faith, you have 1 degree of success. Lampwick, you have 3 degrees of failure. Unless you want to alter that, Lampwick, I'm going to say you don't notice anything else.
That's fine.
Faith, you do notice something. There is a section on the back of this person that does have flesh and skin still present, but it's a very small area. There is a tattoo. It is the symbol of the Citadel, a skull.
Rowan, come here.
Yeah, what'd you find?
This is one of ours. Take a look at this tattoo. Citadel.
Oh, shit. That's Zebra Company. They operate on the outskirts. They're all the way north, kind of close to the waist. What is this body doing here?
Maybe it never made it out to the waist, or was coming back and got caught with the 7,000 traps that they've laid on this road.
Maybe, but it seems like it's out of the way. I mean, unless we have more defectors than we know.
But there shouldn't be that many, right?
No, kid. Yeah, everything's fine. It's just, people are skittish these days. They don't know what they want until they don't have it anymore.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess. Well, anyway, I guess this is one of us, and we can account for one missing person. Do you think these weird cannibal people are hunting, like, specifically Citadel people, or just anybody? I guess just anybody. These people are not really with us. I don't know.
Here's the thing. These weird cannibal people, they ain't got a lot of time left. We know where they are. We're getting out of here. I'm going to call in a full assault. They're gone. And some of them are going to answer questions whether they want to talk or not. And I'm going to take a real good amount of pleasure in watching them squirm as we take them apart the same way they took apart these poor fucks. Eye for an eye. And,
like, I don't know if this is possible, but I feel like I deserve it. Can I have one of the bears, if there's more bears, or just anything like a rideable animal? I just feel like that'd be really neat to have.
Faith, I'll get you a bear hide, but there's no fucking way we're bringing a bear back to the Citadel.
Come on, you don't let me do anything.
Yeah. Well, you know about the swimming hole. I'm sure that if you talk to Riggs, you could probably convince him to let you keep a bear around. I think it's a shitty idea.
It's a great idea and opportunity, but all right, let's go. Hey, what the fuck are you guys doing? Let's get out of here.
Achira, you're pulling this panel off the wall, and you do manage to very carefully remove it. You start to lay out the nails as you described. However,
I can put some competency points in this.
do you wish to put competency into this?
Yes. F that kid.
All right. How many competency are you spending? This is in addition to your stealth, or would you like to make a separate roll?
This is in addition to my stealth, because I am stealthing these nails for whoever is running back and forth within this crawl space. I'll put another 2 to make it 3 degrees of success.
So be it. How many competency do you have remaining, Achira?
3.
I see. And you're already in your location hazard, so that won't be happening again this session.
Yeah. You know, revenge is a bit.
You are laying out these rusty nails, and as you do, you notice something else. Fresh air. There's a breeze that's blowing across your face from the other side of this corridor. It smells like trees, dead leaves, a slight burning smell.
Which side of the corridor? Like left or right? Right where we're heading, or left back the way we came?
Beyond this panel that you've pulled back, there is a single hole, a shaft that has been dug out here. You'd have to crawl on your hands and knees to make it to what looks like a junction on the far side. A T corridor that runs to the right and the left. You're not sure where the air is coming from, but it is most definitely there. A breeze that is most definitely from the outside.
Achira would pull out her Zippo and flick it to see which way the flame is affected.
It is coming from in front of you, all the way down to the T in this section that is drawn out. You will have to crawl through and get to that junction to be able to determine which of those passageways will take you to this area that is clearly outside.
Okay. Achira would trap either side of right here, like she was planning on doing, and not the straight ahead that goes to where the clean air is coming from.
All right.
She'll also, as she very quietly closes the door, not all the way, but enough, she'll look over at everybody else. I have an exit through here. Might not be as easy for all of us, but right now it's secure because I laid my own traps.
Wait, what do you mean an exit?
I smelt the outside.
Through there?
Yes.
Then that's where we need to try to go, no?
What about
once?
I mean,
what about Omar?
We can go right now and check it out. I know it leads to the outside, but we would leave Omar.
Well, we don't know that he's still down here. We stopped hearing him, so maybe he got out too, just like we're doing.
That's very true.
He could be with the other 2 Citadel people.
Absolutely could. Absolutely.
We can get you all out, but I'm coming back in. I'm not leaving Omar. But let's get you out.
Camila?
I'm with you, Erwin.
I'm for that plan.
All right, let's go. There's other people out there too. We had Kusanagi, Digger, Inez. Maybe they all met up.
I hate to tell you this, but Lampwick, we may have to say goodbye to those folks. Camila, she's with child. I'm not that kind of monster. We're going to help her out. Omar, one of ours. The other two, that's on you. But that ATV out there, come morning, it's the fuck out of here. We're going back to the Citadel, and I'm calling in a full strike. We can chase after this fairy tale that Blockbuster has hidden away later. I want these people to pay.
Yeah. Let's go then. Through here, and I point to the panel, and I start to slowly move it.
It's straight ahead. I don't know. Don't go left or right when you first go into it. I have that trapped. You go straight ahead, and then it's either the left or right when she gets to the T.
All right. I'm going to start to crawl through. Are you coming?
Do you have a flame? Do you have a flame with you, Lampwick?
I don't have hardly anything.
Achira hands him her lighter.
I
Just
take
like earlier, but it's still my lighter, Lampwick.
This is my lighter, isn't it?
It's you dropped it in a road. That's
Look,
my lighter.
you fucking are real cute, both of you, but get a fucking move on. We're in the middle of a situation.
All right, let's go. I'll turn it on, and I'll start moving through. Who's behind me?
So I want to say, first of all, each of you are pushing past this gory mess every time you get close to this panel.
Yeah.
Who's going first?
It appears that I am.
And are you going to open this panel that has been gently closed? I know it's already been pried open, but you did put it back, Achira. Is that correct?
I didn't close it all the way.
All right. So are you sliding the panel out of the way then, Lampwick?
Mm-hmm. Slide it out of the way.
All right. And are you trying to do so quietly?
Yep, just as quiet as I can.
Make a stealth roll for me, please.
Wow.
Make a composure roll for me, please.
I'll spend 2 competency points to make that a success.
All right. So you managed to keep your composure. You slide this metal panel across, and it sort of makes a scraping noise that everyone in the passage hears, and it rumbles through that long, dark corridor. And then you hear it. Something is moving down the corridor very quickly. It sounds like a series of rumbles. Something is banging against the metal wall as it moves. As it keeps moving quicker and quicker closer to you. What do you do?
I'm going to back away from that thing. You all hear this too, don't you? I back away.
In the passage and let's go.
The corridor. It's coming from the corridor, not from the passage that I just opened. Oh, yes. I'm getting my ass into that passage.
Lampwick, move your ass.
I'm moving my ass.
Everyone, I will not make you make a spot listen check. There is a silhouette that appears in the hallway ahead of you as one of the doors that is far down this corridor is shoved open, and another very large, imposing-looking person stumbles through, covered in rags, holding on to 2 huge blades that look like enormous meat cleavers, covered in rusty metal, and what look like the jawbones of 2 enormous pigs that have been intertwined around each of these. The figure stops as soon as they pass the threshold.
Achira goes after Lampwick and holds a hand out to help Camilla through.
I need to know who's going through the passage and in what order. And I need everyone who's moving through that passage to either make a stealth check if they're trying to be quiet, or if they're not trying to be quiet, no roll will be required.
Achira's stealthing.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
gonna try to be quiet too.
Both of you can make rolls. Of course, Camila, you are dealing with a very large deficit in the amount of dice that you have to roll. So your difficulty dice are 3. And you're going to need to overcome that to be able to be quiet still. However, you do your best. You move through. Camilla, like a boss, you succeed with a single degree of competency. I'm going to have you forego the composure roll that I was going to have you make, and you slip through. Lampwick and Camilla make their way. Achira, you are helping Camilla as she goes. You have 4 degrees of success, which is a catastrophic success. Congratulations. You are able to mitigate those successes. So 3 of them are going to get you through this and everyone else. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to allow you to hold on to your 4th success to use on a roll that might occur within this passageway. Do you understand?
I do.
All right. Faith, you and Rowan are standing there. Rowan looks to you. Baby Faith, let's fuck this guy up. She immediately points her gun down the corridor and begins to fire. Do you follow suit or do you move to the passageway?
I do the same.
All right.
I have my pistol left.
Okay, so go ahead and roll your pistol
Okie dokie.
as the figure charges both of you.
Please die. Okay. It's 1 degree success.
All right. You have a single degree of success. They are not successful at all in dodging away from any of the attacks that are coming towards them. In fact, they are throwing themselves forward in a fervor, attempting to attack and strike out and close the distance as they run down this very long corridor. You riddle this individual with bullets. Rowan follows suit with her rifle, and gunshots ring out. I will be increasing my risk by quite a bit due to that, especially since Rowan's dice are exploding for damage, meaning that this individual pinwheels backwards and, as far as you can tell, is very, very dead as their body hits the ground. However, the gunshots have rung through this metal corridor, and in the distance, the screams of the strangers stop. And then you hear clamor and banging of metal as other individuals start approaching from the direction that this first marauder came from. What do you want to do, Faith? What is your intention in this moment?
I'm gonna grab Rowan. We are gonna come back for more, but we can't die here. I want to shove her into the corridor first, or the where everyone else just went. Sorry, we were using the word corridor and passageway.
Yeah, so the tunnel is is the portion that's down below. You kind of grab her and she pulls away from you. You're gonna go first. I'll cover and then I'll follow. You have my word, but we're gonna come back. Your brother's not gonna die here.
All right.
All right.
Let's go quickly then.
Fuck yeah. Keep going. So you duck down and you start making your way to the passageway. And I would like for you, if you're trying to be quiet as you enter into the corridor, you can make a stealth. Otherwise, you can forego the roll.
I'll make a stealth quickly. Holy crap! So stealthy.
5 degrees of success, and I'm gonna say that you don't even stop. You don't have to make a composure check. You swing into the corridor, like Immediately, Achira, you start moving, you hear gunshots, and then a split moment later, Faith is right behind you with like military precision, and she's in this squat, like army crawl, ready to go. And you have 2 additional successes that I'm going to allow you to carry over.
Yes.
So together, you each have a total of 3 competency, or not competency, successes, degrees of success that you can carry into whatever situation may occur here. So the only person that's left is Rowan. She is going to try to be quiet. She is quiet. She's not as quiet as Faith, but she is quiet as she enters into the passageway. She pulls the metal doorway closed behind her, and there's kind of a click as it moves into place, but otherwise it's fairly quiet. All of you are now in this passageway. Lampwick, you are taking point here. What do you do?
I'm waiting. I'm listening up ahead and starting to approach quietly, waiting for the rest of them to catch up, making sure that we're all clear. But my focus is up ahead to see what might be on that side, waiting for us.
And you have a lighter.
And I do. Got a lighter that I'm walking down the corridor.
You're not walking. You are on your hands and knees crawling.
Got it.
This is a very small, tight space. Barely large enough for your wide shoulders to pass through.
Uh-oh.
And so you are pulling yourself forward. Everyone behind you, you could hear them, but it would be very hard for you to turn around at this point.
Okay. I'm just making sure that Camila's not too far behind me then.
You kind of hear her behind you, but you cannot see her.
Got it.
What do you want to do about that? You're going to move forward?
Yeah, slowly. Yeah, slowly and cautiously.
Make a spot and listen for me, please, Lampwick.
Mm-hmm.
You have 1 degree of failure.
I will fix that. I will put 3 competency into that. Make it 2 degrees of success.
How many competency does that leave you with?
2.
You have 2 competency remaining.
Mm-hmm.
As you crawl through the space, you hear the others behind you, and you hear horrible screams, wild growls, the clang of metal on metal as the individuals outside of this tunnel in the passageway that you all just escaped from begin to fill that corridor. They're striking against the wall. They're clearly hunting for all of you, but they seem to be unaware of where you are. They pass by you as you all continue to crawl in single file through a very tight, dirt-carved corridor. The lighter in your hand, Lampwick, is flickering. And as you get further up, you reach the T of this passageway. There is a passageway going to your left and one to your right. And you hold your lighter up. And when you hold it to the left, it flickers heavily as the breeze from outside pushes the flame. Camilla,
I'm gonna keep going.
You are in immense pain now. I need you to make another endurance check. And this is the hardest thing that you have ever had to do. As you crawl through a dirt hole, pulling yourself forward, you have 5 degrees of failure. How many competency do you have remaining, Camila?
Well, we have the 3.
We have 3
communal.
degrees of.
Yeah.
We have 3 degrees of success, and I think that we would like to use that right now.
So be it.
Thank you.
Achira, you are directly behind Camila. And as you see her pulling forward, she stops and rolls back. And you think she's about to pass out. You grab onto her leg and shake her vigorously. Her head snaps forward. Camila, you were very close to the edge. Everything was getting dark there for a moment.
How much further?
It's right around the corner. It's so incredibly close now.
Okay.
You
Okay.
still have 2 degrees of failure, and I'm going to resolve that in this manner. You're moving at half speed. Lampwick, you realize that everyone behind you has slowed down incredibly.
Has the passage started to open up at all when I get to like the T? Enough for me to maneuver myself and kind of go back to try to help?
Because of the T, you are able to maneuver yourself. However, the passageways to the right and the left become tighter.
Okay. I'm going to reposition myself and go back and try to help.
You turn yourself around, and now you're face to face with Camilla.
I'm going to reach out my hand.
The small flame flickers between the two of you. What do you do?
Hey, come on. It's right just a couple feet this way. We're almost out. Just stay with me. Let me pull you. I'll help get you there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Wow, you look like someone I know.
All right. Well, trust
Sorry,
that.
You remind me of my dad. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll follow you.
Hey. All right. Hey. I'm gonna get really close up to her. As soon as she says that, I'm gonna get really close and I'm gonna like touch her face. Just follow me. Just follow me. Your dad's here. Just follow me.
Okay.
And I'm gonna try to pull her out.
You find strength where you didn't know that you had it. You pull yourself forward, and while it's still slow, Lampwick, you are dangerously close to losing her. You can see it in her eyes as they begin to wander off. She's looking through you sometimes. She's looking through everything around her, and you can see the darkness start to creep in. She's at risk of passing out at any point. But you continue to coax her forward. And as you do, you turn the corner, and the entire group slowly begins moving forward. There is a section now where there's a small amount of light pouring through a very thin sliver in the wall. There is metal here. It looks much like the other passageways that you've moved through. And Lampwick, as you look to your left, moving backwards so that you can guide Camilla forwards, you see what's inside of that room. There are stacks of military containers. There are weapons. There are bricks of gold, and there are bundles of old world money.
What the fuck? I'm gonna take note of that and help Camila get through. And is this space big enough to have a couple of us in there together, or is it still super confined?
It's becoming more confined. In fact, your broad shoulders are becoming hard to maneuver with, and you're scraping against your wound as you push against the rough wall of this small, confined tunnel.
Achira, can you hear me? I'm going to kind of whisper, knowing that Achira's behind Camila. Achira, the other passageway, there's a room. It looks like it's got supplies.
Supplies? Something that we can use right now?
I see cash. So let's go to the casino. I see gold. I see what looks like containers with military equipment, but I'm gonna keep moving forward because I gotta get Camila out of here.
Things that we can trade later, things that we need.
Things that we might be able to use right now if there's medical equipment in there.
Should I split off?
If you do it fast. Do it like you do.
I'll try.
I'm gonna keep moving ahead. And again, I'm helping Camila. And if Camila is delirious and calling me Papi, I'm gonna play into that. Because I'm whatever I can do to get her to stay with us.
I would like for both you, Camila, and Lampwick to make a roll for me. Lampwick, I'm going to have you make your persuade roll. Camila, I'm going to have you make an endurance roll. These two rolls will be joined together. The aggregate of either success or failure will determine whether or not you make it out quickly.
Difficulty dice for me?
None. Camila, you know what your difficulty is, however. You've rolled 101. You have 5 degrees of failure. Lampwick, you're going to need to roll very well.
Uh-huh. All right. Here we go. Oh, fuck.
How many competency do you have remaining?
I have 2. It's not enough.
For the first time in my memory, Lampwick, you have 3 degrees of failure on a persuade.
I sure do. Whew.
With 2 competency points, if you spend those, I would be willing to entertain a trade for survival points. How many survival points do you have available?
I have 95.
I need 50 for each competency.
If somebody can give me 5, if I can take 5 from Camila, since we're doing this together, then I will put in the 45 for that second one.
Camila, did you give me a large number of survival points last time we played together? Because I believe you have fewer survival points than you might think. How many do you have?
No, I have 0.
Well, if you had any competency points left over from last time, it converts to survival points. 15 per competency point left over.
Did you have additional competency at the end of the session?
Even had 1.
Yeah,
I
did.
Left over from last week.
So then you have just enough. I will take all of your survival points. Taking all of your survival points, I will allow you to make this with 1 degree of success.
However, because it's persuasion, if it's 1 degree of success, then it becomes 4.
Indeed. Which is going to leave you at a single degree of failure, which is far better than the alternative.
Yes, it is.
Camila starts to pass out again. Lampwick, the only way that this is going to work is through your ability to roleplay this scene. If you're able to tell us exactly how you keep Camila conscious, I will overlook that last degree of failure and allow her to continue forward. Otherwise, you're going to be dragging an unconscious pregnant woman through a very, very tight hole.
Great. So, I'm pulling her aside, and if I start to see her slipping out, I'm going to get close to her, because just seconds ago, this seemed to have had some sort of an effect. And I'm going to put my face really close to hers, and touch forehead to forehead. And I'm just going to, Camila, vámonos, mija. Vámonos, quédese conmigo, aquí estoy.
Sí.
And
Sí.
I'm going to give her a kiss on the forehead, and I'm going to whisper in her ear, I always knew that you would be a wonderful mother. Be there for your baby. I'm watching. Vámonos, mija.
Papi, but will you be there too?
Of course, I've always been here. I'm always with you. Hold on to me. Let's go.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna hold on to her as tight as I can.
You
given
see
the
the
circumstances.
you see the light passing through her eyes, and she looks through you, but she remains conscious. And the two of you crawl forward. Achira, Faith, you hear all of this. You hear the whispers, you hear the talk, you don't know exactly what's happening. But eventually, Camilla and Lampwick continue forward. Rowan is agitated, Faith. You can hear her moving uncomfortably, and she's reloading her rifle as you're trying to move through this. She's cursing under her breath, but she's remaining quiet. What do the two of you do? What are your intentions in this moment?
Achira lets Faith know about the secret stash and her intention to go towards it. It's kind of like a duck through and a quick look. We found something that they wanted hidden, which means whatever we take, they don't have. Do you want to do this?
I guess. If it hurts them, sure. But we only got a minute, maybe two. Take a look.
I'm giving you both 30 seconds. That's all. So you make it fast. I'm moving with them. I'm not going to leave those two on their own. They can't make it. However, 30 seconds passes and you're not back. You're going to have bigger things to worry about than these assholes. And Rowan is like kind of ready and just glaring at you through the back side of that hole.
Fair enough.
All right.
That's all we need.
Okay. So you move forward and you see the slit that Lampwick indicated. And it is it's one of those spy slits that have been worked into the metal panels. It's kind of difficult to see the whole room, but you reposition yourself. It's very dark in there, but there does seem to be some light coming from outside, perhaps. Some sort of grate, because it's a speckled moonlight that you see. And you do kind of feel breeze on your face. Everything here is covered in heavy amounts of dirt, debris, old leaves. All of this has been just left here and piled sort of haphazardly. There are also a number of military uniforms that have been shredded and are lying about the ground here. There are large containers and boxes and crates, but you see, just as Lampwick described, bars of gold and stacks of old world money that are just thrown into a corner. There are one or two crates that are open that have packing straw that seem to have metal weapons of some sort inside. Guns, you can't see what though from here. Additionally, you see a metal box. It's rusted over, but there's a red cross painted on the side of it.
Literally one of the builds that I have in with Achira is like being able to find the most valuable thing like in the space to where she wants. I mean, that's what I talked about with building my character, like her with bartering and being able to be kind of a cash specialist. When it came to things like that, what would her natural inclination be with like scanning this around to what would be the most possible?
Make a search check for me. I'm going to be very favorable in my description depending on what you roll.
Okay. Recon gear with this?
Yes, you are cautiously moving through and scouring the area before you move forward. And to be clear, this is behind one of those metal walls. You don't have an easy entrance point right now.
Okay.
So you begin scanning across using some of your recon gear. You probably have to bring a light out and start to kind of move across the space. Do you have any competency that you want to spend on that? Because you do have 2 degrees of failure.
I have 3 competency points left. Ah.
Do you wish to spend your final 3 competency to make this successful? As you've stated, you have built your character around this sort of recon, and I will tell you exactly what is the most valuable item in barter here.
No, I'm gonna go for the crate that looks like it's first aid. I'm gonna save my competency.
Very well. So, Faith, you are able, if you wish, to communicate with Achira and figure out how you both are moving forward here. The wall is very much like the walls that you have encountered elsewhere within this complex. How do you wish to try to enter this space?
I want to check around the doorway, the entryway for traps first.
There is no door.
Oh, it's just like a little corridor.
This is a room that you are peering through a small slitted passage. So there's a slit in the wall that you're able to see this room through.
Oh, I see.
In
there's
the
no
tunnel,
door.
there's no door, but there are metal panels here. You might be able to remove them or break through them to get into that space.
Yeah, I'll search for a metal panel to open up to get into the space.
You do find one that you think will open. The question is how much time do you wish to spend on this and how quiet do you want to be?
I want to be quiet, I guess, but I don't want to spend more than 10 seconds because we don't have that much time.
I think quick over quiet.
Quiet will not happen in 10 seconds.
Then quick, let's do it.
Make a lift pull roll for me, please, Faith.
Very, very bad.
4 degrees of failure.
Well.
Do you have any competency?
I do have some left. I'm gonna go ahead and throw all 5 of my competency points at it. That's all I got left, and then I get 1 success.
Which is just enough to get this open. It is not quiet. My risk once again increases. Both of your boots land on this panel as you pry it down, and a portion of the wall collapses inward. It creaks horribly, and now you can see exactly what the interior of this room is. It is a stone cistern that has been burrowed into the ground. It's very old. Above it, a huge iron grate that does lead to the outside, but is so covered in dirt and debris that you can barely see the moonlight pouring in from beyond it. But that is the source of light above you. You do not think you will be able to get through that, as it is about 20 feet above you. Also, it seems to be made of very sturdy steel. There are stone walls around you, but this portion seems to have been blasted out, chipped away, and then these metal panels have been added to it. There is a single door, and it's on the far side of this corridor. There is a small window. No glass, just an opening that has been cut into the steel door.
Smash and grab, Faith. I'm going for medical, and Achira takes off to it.
You run and you grab the box that is marked with the Red Cross. Faith, what do you grab?
I would run to the box that looks like it's full of weapons or munitions.
There are boxes of ammunition here for various calibers. There are a number of pistols. There are a number of automatic rifles here. There are additionally a number of flash grenades.
I take grenades, please.
They are flash grenades. You can grab
know.
up to, if you wish to just carry flash grenades, you can take 10 of them.
I take 10. That's great. Yes, yes.
Okay, so you have loaded up with 10 flash grenades. Achira, you have grabbed the medical box. What
Can
do
I
you wish to do?
also grab a couple of barter gold on the way out?
If you would like to take some gold, you're welcome to remain here longer.
Never mind. I'll just take the box.
So be it. You take the box and both of you leave as noise is heard from the corridor beyond the doorway. You hear that clanking noise of metal on metal as something is being dragged, and the grunts of your hunters as the marauders begin working their way towards your location. You hear drums in the distance, and you see the flicker of torchlight further down. They know that you're somewhere in this area now. If both of you are trying to get back into the passageway and escape quickly, I will allow you to make either a jump leap or a lift pull. As you hurdle yourself into and past this corridor, back down into the hole so that you can drag yourself down that dirt shaft to what you hope is outside.
Do a jump leap. Oh, +1.
My jump leap is slightly better than my left pull, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for that. Any way to use climbing gear with that? Or...
Not in this situation.
Got it.
This is fully a physical moment where you have to find your way to pull yourself through your physical strength forward. Tools will not help you here.
Oh, thank God.
Achira and Faith, you both have succeeded with a single degree of success, which is enough. And you're both in that corridor as you pull yourself forward. I have a very important question to ask. Do one of you take the time to try and conceal the entrance that you pass through? Or do you take the extra moments to get as far away as possible?
I would just keep running. I wouldn't cover the door.
I would try to conceal. We might be able to use this way again.
Faith,
That's
you
fair.
continue down the passageway. Achira, make a lift pull.
A lift. Oh, it's a lift pull, not a stealth.
You are bending this metal piece back into place to conceal the entrance that Faith very roughly made. There was nothing graceful about it. You need to make a lift pull.
Any gear I can use with that, or it's just dealer's choice on this one?
I think it's the luck of the dice because you have so little time to pull gear forth and use it here.
All right. Let's see. Oh my God. I got a degree of success. Oh my God.
There is a groaning of metal as you pull your full weight backwards. You've successfully concealed your passage. As to how well, that will be determined by those who seek it out. But currently, there is not an open hole in the wall that will be an apparent escape route for all of you. Faith
I'll
is...
put 1 degree, 1 competency point into it. So it's 2 degrees of success.
With 2 degrees of success, you feel that it is adequate.
Was that a location hazard?
You've been in a location hazard this entire session.
Oh, so that's a no then.
Not a new location hazard, I'm sorry.
Got it.
You continue to pull yourself forward. Faith is further up. All of you are crawling through this dirt tunnel. Lampwick, you're drawing Camilla forward. Every step of the way, you feel that she might pass out. But you continue to talk to her. She believes that you are her father. You're moving backwards. You can't see what's behind you. You feel the breeze of the exterior work its way across your back, and on the back of your neck, the hairs rise. You hear crickets.
I'm going to take a moment to see if I hear anything moving or shuffling or anything beyond nature.
Very well. You stop to listen. Make a spot listen check. Camilla, make an endurance check. As you stop, Lampwick,
Mm-hmm.
you do hear something. The panting of dogs.
Panting of dogs.
They don't seem to be alert to your presence, but you hear them moving not too far away from the entrance to this passageway. You're pulling yourself backwards. Camilla passes out. She's unconscious in front of you.
Oh, fuck. Okay, I'm going to just get right up next to her, and I'm just gonna gently tap her cheek, try to wake her up. Come on.
I'm going to make a roll for Camilla. There is no response.
Fuck. How far back are the others?
You hear metal groaning and a crashing noise further down the hole. Then you hear motions of hurried crawling coming towards you and Camilla.
I'm gonna wait for them and let them know what's on the other side of this opening. And Camilla's out. She's passed out. I don't know what to do with her, and I know that there's dogs on the other side.
Faith,
They
you
haven't
hear this.
noticed us yet. And I'm just still trying to wake her up. Come on, Camilla, come on, wake up.
Are you going to continue to attempt to wake her up, staying in the position that you're in?
I'm waiting for everybody else anyway. I'm not going to go out there by myself. So in the meantime, I'm still trying to wake her up, and I'm kind of pulling her and trying to get her to wake up. Yeah.
Dogs begin barking. Loud, ravenous dogs. And then you hear the sound of metal, like metal from a fence, and something hitting against it. The clatter of chains. More barking.
The chains and all that metal sounding, does it sound like it's coming from where we've been? Or where, or on the outside?
On the outside, behind you.
Behind me. And the barking, does it sound like it is...
Also behind you.
Behind me, getting further away or coming closer?
Coming closer, but it's no longer moving.
They're right outside of where we are.
So it would seem.
Faith. We have trouble on the other side. If I get out, I'm dead meat. They're waiting for us. How many dogs do we hear? Can I ascertain that?
More than 3.
Okay. Well, listen, I've got a really shitty idea.
What?
Get them as close to the entry as we can, and I use one of these 10 flash grenades I found to blind them, and then we crawl as fast as we fucking can out of here and get out.
Yeah, give me one of those. Because you can't crawl around me, can you?
There is no way that anyone will be able to crawl over Camilla to you.
So I
Pass
need you
me
to.
one of those.
We gotta. Oh, here. Okay. I kind of squeeze it around Camilla's body.
Oh my god. We gotta get her. We gotta wake her up.
You pass the flash grenade, but you are wedged between Camilla and the wall. It's very difficult, Faith.
Lampwick, we're gonna need for you to drag her out, and we push. We'll have the flash grenades. We'll have a gun ready, but we're kind of left without an option here.
Right.
Didn't I
Okay.
have smelling salts from earlier when I helped Rowan wake up?
You do.
Can I try them on Camilla?
You may, if you would like to make a first aid roll.
Yes, I would like this.
Yes, please.
Okay, I don't have any more. Oh, are we in the woods yet, technically? Or because we're so close to the entryway now?
I am sorry you are not yet in the woods, but you are
Boo.
so close.
Boo. All right. Don't worry, I got it. Roll good
Steps
first aid.
away from the woods.
So close to having more competency. Okay.
You know how I feel every game.
2 successes on first aid for Camilla.
Camilla, you wake. You see Faith, and there's a horrid, strong smell in front of you. You're coughing. Lampwick, you see this happen. You're holding onto a flash grenade.
We got to move now. I'm going to start to pull her out. I'm going to back out, and I'm going to get this flash grenade ready to throw right on the outside of me as soon as I can find an opportunity to.
Lampwick, check to make sure first before you use it, because once you use that, if, for instance, they're not even paying attention to us, then they will be.
Right.
Check to make sure first.
Oh, you should be in the front. Okay, I'm going to slowly crawl out and see what I see, but I'm ready to use this thing.
You are not immediately throwing this grenade. You're looking in the area around you before you do anything, correct?
Correct.
You start pulling yourself out from this dirt hole. Leaves crunch underneath your knees. You feel the air intensify, and the dogs are continuing to bark. There's that rattling of metal on metal, chain clattering against itself. And as you pull yourself out from the corridor, immediately there is a dog that leaps right on top of you. But it is stopped by the chain link fence that separates you and it.
Oh. Wow.
Its open, slavering mouth is ravidly trying to bite into your flesh, but is unable to, as there is a very rusted piece of metal between you and this dog.
I'm going to get myself out, and I'm going to take out... I still have my spear? Do I have that weapon on me still?
You do not have your spear on you.
Hmm.
There are four other dogs that are now pressing up against this metal fence, and you can see that it's locked by a heavy chain some distance away. There's a large kennel with corridors that lead into the hallways that you and your surviving companions just left behind. They are made to funnel into those hallways at a certain point. However, this is where they're being held outside, and now they're throwing themselves against a very old fence trying to get to you.
I'm going to just let them try, and I'm going to get Camilla out, and I'm going to help everybody else get out too.
Make a lift pull check.
You got it.
Can I help with Camilla? I feel like I would.
You
Or
can
I guess...
make a lift pull as well.
Okay.
Yes. Lampwick, you have 1 degree of success.
Mm-hmm.
Faith, you have 2 degrees of failure. That only is going to mean that you are going to be delayed as you do help her, but you yourself get caught on the hole as you're trying to pull yourself out. A very jagged rock is hooked onto one of your belts, and you're going to have to move back to unhook it before you and Achira can leave. It's going to take a few more precious seconds.
Is half my body outside in the woods yet? Because I'm sort of halfway out the corridor.
I will allow it.
Hell yeah! All right. That was really loud. Sorry.
The other option that you have is to cut your gear and leave it behind.
Oh hell no! I'm gonna use my 2 competency that I get from being in the woods and make it a wash. Or should I just use 1 and make it like a little wash?
You're
That's-
still going to be caught. It will just
Yeah.
lessen the amount of time that you have to hang behind to free your material.
All right, whatever. I use them all. I use them both. And
Okay. So at that point, it's only a momentary stoppage where you'll have to pull this belt off of this rock. You readjust yourself. You kick the rock free out of the dirt, and Achira, dust kind of blows back towards you as Faith pulls herself out after her gear got caught on the hole. Both of you are now outside. Lampwick, are you half carrying Camila as she stands?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. I am completely supporting Camila and making sure she stays calm and stays with it. And as soon as the next person comes out, I'm gonna say kill those fucking dogs.
Rowan has pushed herself out already before Faith and Achira and is helping you to hold on to Camilla as all of you escape this place. Where are you going? Where do you run?
What are our options around us? There's the
Behind
fence in
you
front of us.
is the fence is to one side.
Mhm.
Behind you is another series of those shanty buildings. There are walls here. Again, there are large buckets and barrels that are filled with both rainwater and also gore that has been collected here. There are the bones of animals and humans that are scattered on the ground, and you can see on the other side of the cage that human flesh and bone is littered in their feeding pen.
The dogs, do they have a central like water trough or water bowl or something like that we can see?
There are a series of small buckets that have been chopped in half that are filled with water. They are lined up on one side of the fence.
But it feeds all the dogs, yes.
Yes.
Achira has a flask that she filled with black bile and bourbon, and she's going to uncap that and put that into the animal's watering dish and leave that behind as we continue forward.
You can do this. However, you'll have to place your hand inside the fence to do it.
Can I climb the fence and just drop it from up top?
You may.
I'll do that instead.
You climb up the fence. Make a climb check.
If I'm doing it stealthily, can I?
Make a climb check, please.
I'll do climb check. Can I use my climbing gear?
You may.
Okay, thank you.
The rusted metal of the fence groans underneath your weight as you pull yourself up. You feel confident that it will hold you, but if anything should happen, it may not hold.
I'm going to use both of my competency points to make that 1 degree of success.
You managed to
Those are
succeed at this.
My last 2 competency points, unless this fence is a location hazard.
The fence itself is not. The pin and the kennel is. Would you like to jump down into the kennel and earn the competency points that you're asking for?
No, you know what? Thank you. I'm good.
So you drop the tainted bourbon into the water dish and climb back down. You're successful. During this entire interaction, however, the dogs stop barking at Lampwick and Camilla and immediately start pummeling the fence that you're on, leaping and wildly throwing themselves at you. You manage to climb all the way down, but their slavering fangs are close. And you see the rusted fence begin to shake with every strike. You don't think you have much time before they break free.
Time to go. Let's get away from them.
Don't you have a knife? Why don't you stab him in the head right through the fence?
Don't you have a flash grenade? How about you just throw that into the kennel?
Well, that's going to make noise. You told me not to do that.
Girls,
Fight about
stop
this
it. You're
later.
both pretty. Let's go. Rowan shouts at both of you. Do any of you make any suggestions?
Where do we go, Rowan? Do you know where the car is?
Yes, follow me. We're going to move towards the ATV.
Great. I follow Rowan.
She starts booking it through the forest.
I'm right behind her, but I'm helping Camila.
Camila, if you wish to run, I need you to make one final endurance check.
Much as I would like to say I'd like to take a nice brisk walk with this, probably a better idea to try to run, even though I don't have faith. Wait. Speaking of faith, she reminded me. I have survival skill in temperate forest. Do I get my competency points for this?
You do.
Yes! Okay. Okay. All right. This is good because I get 3 competency points.
1 degree of failure. What do you do?
I would like to spend 2 competency points.
Everyone present, all of you, have just survived the slaughterhouse. In running through the forest around you, you marvel at the strength and resilience of Camila, as she has just undergone utter hell and crawled out alive. She and her unborn child will live for another day. That's where we're going to end our session tonight.